Hello, I'm Nick, and I'm doing a screencast of my Excel skills. This is pretty much this is the best thing I've created. Took me about a year of putting it on and off, a year of working on it on and off. Let's start with the time card. This is for my job. Back in December 2015. This is where I work. This is the date. Time in 9 a.m. Time out 3 o'clock. Subtracts. It's a fun little equation. Overtime, I had some overtime a couple of months down. Here we go, right there in this area. And this column calculates the overtime, which is it's basically the same as this column. Adds them all up. Details on the job is if there's any extra. I had like one keystone jack and one patch cord for this job, and I also paid Steve. And then that goes into here. Money owed is, oops, Money owed is how much money they owe me for the day. So that's multiplied by 15 because I was getting paid $15 an hour that at the time period. And then total money owed or this is money paid. Oops. Money paid is in this column. They pay me about every 2 weeks. So I had this column adding to this column, and I made all this column negative, so I knew how much money they owed me. And it pretty much goes all the way down, goes down pretty far. And I stopped using this at some point in June. I can't remember why. But this is the fun part right here. This is how much money I earned in January, February, March, all the way through June. And I created a little graph because I wanted to tell my boss that I needed a raise and how this is barely livable. But this is how much I wanted, 2,400 a month, and this is how much I was getting, and this was my average. I don't really understand why I didn't average. I might need to go back to my past self and ask them. This is my hours, so I just did this one for fun because I wanted to see if how it would correspond. Um, and then from there, it pushes all this data, all of this money into a budget, and the budget, uh, yeah, the budget um tells me how much money I should be spending at any given time. This was like this was a prototype, this budget, so I didn't really use it. I had another budget somewhere, it might be on another Excel, but it was a lot more detailed. But bills, enjoyment 15%. I pretty much just multiplied my income for that day. So this is my income for this day from time card, and then I multiplied it by percentages, and it said, okay, you can spend this much money